Good morning. This is January the 16th, Thursday, 2025. We are in BBIS first semester compulsory English class, and we have only how many? 6 students today. Right? Even my sound is echoing in the class because the class is almost empty. But we'll continue. So in the previous class, we read that the economic models are based on old data, right? Old data. That means they are based on data, let's say 1970s, 80s, 90s. They are based on the data of the time when climate was stable, right? But now the climate is unstable. So the predictions about climate and the use of that prediction in economic growth does not work. As a result, problems occur. And we saw the first problem here yesterday. He brings the example of Indian economy, right? There were predictions about Indian economy that it will keep growing indefinitely, right? But then Glendon says there is no question about whether climate change might impact this growth. There is no question means it will affect. So Glendon says that it was predicted that India will keep growing indefinitely, but because there was climate change, this has impacted the growth, or this will impact the growth, or this might impact the growth, possibility or probability. Then they give the example how the growth of Indian economy will be affected. Now, now if climate change will affect Indian economy, it will also affect the oil market, because when the economy goes up, the demand for oil also goes up, because there's a lot of activity, machinery activity. When economy goes down, the demand for oil also goes down. So the impact of climate change on Indian economy is closely related to impact to oil market, consumption of oil, right? Now, Glendon says that, look here, the report of which he is talking found something surprising. What was found? In India, 80 million people work outdoor, right? Only 10% have air conditioning in their home. So, predictions were made that by 2030, coming 5 years, 200 million Indians could be exposed to lethal heat waves, climate problem, climate change, heat wave, a very hot wind, lethal, it can kill you. In which, now what will happen? The temperatures will go so high that people who work outdoor, they could be killed even if they drink enough water, even if they work only 4 hours outside, even if they work in the shade, they could be killed. Right? Now, its impact will be that the average number of lost daylight working hour, people will be working less in daylight. This will increase. So, lost daylight working hour will increase, more time people won't be able to work. What will happen then? 2.5 to 4.5% of GDP will go down. So do you see in this paragraph which I taught you yesterday very clearly, the connection between climate change, climate crisis and economy? This is climate crisis and this is impact on economy, right? This is what we read yesterday. Now let's move ahead with the second example. They bring a second example from America. Because this article was written in New York Times, so we can assume primary audience for them is Western people. Florida is another one of the reports case study. Now what is happening there? Now there are homes. The homes have been mortgaged in the bank, right? There are other properties along the sea coast. They also have been mortgaged in the bank. Now what is the problem now? Because of climate change, banks require the owners of the homes to have extra flood insurance also. मैले लोन लिएको थिएँ जमानामा 20 वर्ष अगाडि त बैंकले के गर्यो इन्स्योरेन्स गराउनुपर्छ भन्यो अनि एक्स्ट्रा मैले पैसा तिर्थे मैले बैंकलाई त ब्याज तिर्थे इन्स्योरेन्सले हजारौं तिर्थे राइट केही भएर भुइँचालो गएर घर पल्ट्यो भने बैंकले घाटा नहोस् बैंक कति पाटो हुन्छ आफूले कुनै घाटा गर्न चाहदैन नि राइट सो banks ask to have extra flood insurance. Now insurance companies, not only that, and they ask to renew the contract every year. मैले बाइक चलाउँछु हरेक वर्ष कर तिर्न जान्छु असारमा त्यो इन्स्योरेन्स नगरेसँग करै लिँदैन राइट मलाई एक्स्ट्रा पर्यो नि त 2000 रुपैयाँ तिर्नुपर्छ मैले इन्स्योरेन्सको 6000 बाइकको तिर्छु 30% तिर्छु राइट नाउ chances are if there is serious climate crisis there can be a point when insurance companies will no longer cover properties in a given area. हिजो मात्रै पढ्दै थिएँ अस्ति फेसबुकमा क्यालिफोर्नियामा एलएमा आगो कन्ट्रोल बाहिर गएपछि एक हप्ता अगाडि इन्स्योरेन्स कम्पनीहरूले नोटिस पठाए अरे अब कभरेज हुँदैन भनेर ल प्रिमियम तिरिरहेछ कभरेज हुँदैन अरे मन परि भयो नि त राइट So they may say that they won't cover any property in what area where there is flooding. If there is flooding, they won't cover the property. Why? They will say that there is climate exposure. अहिले पनि पोहोर साल बाढी गयो नि नेपालमा, कति अर्बको इन्स्योरेन्स दाबी छ अरे, क्लेम गरेको पेमेन्टै हुँदैन. कोभिडको बेलामा insurance company said no, we can't insure, right? Now, if insurance companies do not insure the houses, now owners may default on their bank loan, right? So, this 30-year mortgage does not make sense. Why? Because you don't know what may happen in 30 years. There may be flood. So banks want short-term insurances, short-term mortgage, right? There is uncertainty. Bad things may happen. Wildfire may happen. Flooding may happen. Hurricane may happen, right? So Glendon says these places will be financially underwater before they are physically underwater. Financially underwater means in financial crisis. So do you see how, understand, flood is a climate crisis, right? And this climate crisis is bringing financial crisis. See the climate and economy connection, right? Did I turn on the recorder? Maybe I did not. Oh, I have. Lending institutions means organizations which lend money to businesses, to people. Lending institutions in places with flood-prone property, areas where there is possibility of flooding, are already disproportionately pushing these mortgages onto Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. What is that? The consequences of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac going bankrupt would be catastrophic for US housing market and the broader economy. Actually, these were the company that went bankrupt. Meaning here is that if lending institutions provide money to properties in flood-prone areas, then they will go bankrupt because properties will be destroyed by climate crisis and owners won't be able to pay the money back. And if owners cannot pay the money back, banks will go bankrupt, right? And if banks go bankrupt, people's money deposited will be lost. Bank toss nas bhanda tapai paisa haraउने हो नि त, बैंकको कसो पैसा छ? बैंकमा त ओनरको पैसा त हुँदैन, कहिले पनि हुँदैन, पब्लिकको पैसा हुन्छ, right? Those agencies which are government sponsored buy up confirming mortgages which are based on a fairly simple algorithm. What is that algorithm? Making prediction. What may happen? Temperature kati jala, season kasto hola, climate kasto hola. One that does not include expectations about the future. Now, I think, business people want certainty about the future. Business people want certainty about tomorrow, right? I think everyone else kind of thinks that someone else holds the risk. See, have you seen when there is a problem, people's tendency is, why should I bear the risk? You should bear the risk. So banks will say, insurance company should bear the risk. Insurance company will say, government should bear the risk. Even during COVID, if you remember, insurance company said, so ultimately, the final risk-bearing agency is the government, right? Pina told the crowd, ultimately the backstop, what is backstop? Where something is stopped finally. Gadi, is the federal government. So banks won't bear the risk. Insurance companies won't bear the risk. So who will bear the risk? Government. नेपालमा हेर्नुहोस् न, सहकारीमा 1 खर्ब रुपियाँ हरायो नि त। अब अहिले सरकारले के भनिरहेछ? गभर्मेन्ट विल पे अरे। त्यस्तो नि हुन्छ। खाने अनि खाने पनि उनीहरू नै, पे गर्ने उनीहरू, जनताको ट्याक्सबाट तिर्ने। लुट्ने पनि नेताहरू। तपाईँ हेर्नुभएको जति पनि सहकारीमा चाहिँ अध्यक्षहरू छ, सबै पार्टीको मान्छेहरू छ। अनि लुटेपछि तिर्नलाई फेरि कसको पैसाले तिर्ने? ट्याक्स पेयरको पैसाले तिर्ने रे। ल यहाँभन्दा मौज के हुन्छ होइन? खाने, जनताकोले तिर्ने। Ultimately, government has to be right. Pino pointed out that this is already happening in California, where extreme. Look here, this article was published in 2020, and it talks about wildfire in California, which you have today, are now virtually an annual event. Utility companies are in a tailspin. What is tailspin? Uncontrolled situation. And state regulators have blocked insurance companies from dumping fire vulnerable customers. So insurance companies insure those customers whose houses are vulnerable to fire. And ultimately they say government has to pay. If investors don't change direction now, at some far too late point, the government, through decarbonization and other regulatory efforts, will likely have to pull that lever hard. Pull that lever hard. You pull the lever to break the vehicle to stop. So it says that finally the government will have to control the situation. चारैतिर भद्रगोल भयो भने त सरकारले के गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ नि त. And imagine just what if that lever fails? The country will fail. गभर्मेन्टले ब्रेक लाउनु पर्छ रहेछ. गभर्मेन्ट नसके कहाँ जाने फेरि? सिद्धिएन नि. Pino said, and I think that would cause a lot of massive disruption if government fails, or even if banks fail, insurance companies fail. So do you see second example? He discusses about American scenario, how climate crisis of flooding can affect economy. For now, of course, that is not the case. Okay, right now, the government doesn't have to come ahead. In January, President Trump gave a keynote speech on the first. Now look, I told you that this article, I told you on day one, that this article takes a position. It takes a democratic position. And it criticizes conservative ideology. In January, President Trump gave a keynote speech on the first day of the 50th annual gathering of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. And let's read what Trump said, and you will see the ideology of the conservative politicians. Trump said, American energy revolution. Trump instead celebrated the American energy revolution. Now here is the problem. Because this energy revolution is based on fossil fuel. This is based on oil. This energy revolution which Trump is talking about is based on traditional fuel, oil, and this causes CO2 emission. That's the problem. Read ahead. Particularly the booming production of fracked oil and natural gas. The more fracked oil you produce, the more natural gas you produce. You will burn that gas. The more natural gas you burn, you will produce more CO2. And the more CO2 you produce, the climate will get warmer and warmer. He criticized those. He means Trump. He means Donald Trump. Trump criticized those who would warn about the climate. Look, Donald Trump criticized those people who were warning about the climate crisis. You may have heard about Al Gore. He was vice president under George W. Bush, I think, or Bill Clinton, I'm not sure. You just go to YouTube and just type Al Gore an environmental campaign, and you will see his videos. Al Gore is a Democrat. We must reject the perennial prophets of doom. Look what Trump said. Look what Trump said. He criticized to embrace the possibilities of tomorrow. Look, the possibilities of tomorrow means economic growth. To achieve economic growth, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom. Those people who were warning about climate change, he called them prophets of doom. And he said, we must reject their prediction. Then only we can achieve economic development of America. And their predictions of the apocalypse. So Democrats say, there will be apocalypse if you don't listen to the scientists' warning. Conservatives say, that's a fake prediction. Now what shall we do? Spencer Glendon says, or this writer says, the good news, Pienaar said, is that asset managers are beginning to wake up, means realizing. In the forum's own risk ranking, based on a survey of hundreds of its powerful members, the top 5 most global risks were, what were the top 5 global risks? For the first time, climate related. The top 5 global risks in that convention were about climate. So do you see Donald Trump is wrong? As you read this Pienaar's argument, Donald Trump is wrong. BlackRock, the world's largest asset management firm responsible for more than $7 trillion, recently announced that it would begin to relocate its capital away from fossil fuels, stating in its annual letter to investors that, read carefully, climate change has set us on the edge of fundamental reshaping of finance. He accepted that climate change has forced us to reshape our finances and put more money in clean energy. The European Investment Bank announced that it would phase out its multi-billion euro funding of all coal, oil and gas projects by 2021. See, the bank said, we understand that if we put money in fossil fuel, coal, this will create a serious problem. So we won't put any more money in that. Corporations, however, slowly are starting to do more as well. In January, now do you see, in these paragraphs, we are reading about solutions. We are reading about solutions, right? Because we are arriving toward the end of the paper now, right? Corporations, however, slowly are starting to do more as well. In January, Microsoft declared that it would be carbon negative by 2030. And you'll be surprised that Microsoft consumes very huge amount of energy to run its, system, right? With the goal to by 2050, remove from the atmosphere all of the historic carbon. So the problem here is the carbon that has already been deposited in the atmosphere. Earlier read yesterday, we are logged in. We are already logged in. Lo, देऊ मलाई बिचारा के गर्ने हैन दिवार सरको पढाइ बोरिङ छ अनि मोबाइल चलायो भने मोबाइलमा राम्रो राम्रो कुरा आउँछन् हैन कसले सुन्छ सरको पढाइ मोबाइल पो चलाउने हो त हिजो पनि यही खोसा मोबाइल यही हो कसको उता क्लासमा मोबाइलले त यति हैरान बनाछ इट इज ब्रिङिङ डिजास्टर एकदमै डिजास्टर बाहिर मिडियाले जे भनिरहेछ क्लासमा त्यही भइरहेछ मिडियाले के भनिरहेछ हिजो सुन्दै थिएँ एउटा वर्ड सुने स्क्रिन एडिक्सन भन्ने हुँदो रहेछ वर्ड स्क्रिन एडिक्सन भनेको त्यो स्क्रिनको लत लाग्ने छ तिम्रो ब्रेनमा, अनि लत लगाए तिमी चाहिँ छिनछिनमा यो स्क्रिन नहेर्दा चाहिँ बस्नै सक्दैन। 1 मिनट स्क्रिन हेर्नु पाएन तिमी पागल हुन्छ। मैले क्लासै पागल भएर देखिरहेको छु विद्यार्थीहरू, हिजै पागल भइरहेको थियो विद्यार्थी, मोबाइल खोजेको बोलाइहाल्यो नि एकछिनमा, पागलै भयो त्यो एकछिनमा मोबाइल खोजिदिएको। ग्यारेन्टी तिम्रो मोबाइल एक दिन खोज्दै तिमी पागल हुन्छौ, त्यस्तो भइसक्यो तिमीहरू, राइट? किनभने अब जस्तो उसले बिचरा पढिरहेछ, उसले सक्दैन नि त, उसको दिमागले काम गरिरहेको छैन, अब मोबाइल नखोली बस्नै सक्दैन। म पढाइरहेको छु मोबाइल खोलेर, त्यहाँ अब कोही केटा होला कोही केटी होला, नेट होला, जे नै हुन्छ नि मोबाइलमा त, गतिलो कुरा पनि हुन्छ खराब कुरा पनि हुन्छ। यो कुरासम्म कम्प्युटर पढाउन सक्छु त, मैले यस्तो कदापि पढाउन सक्दिनँ, त्यो मोबाइल हेरेर मन नलाओस्, म सक्दिनँ। तिमी भित्रबाट मोटिभेट हुनु पऱ्यो नि त, मैले पढ्नुपर्छ सुन्नुपर्छ यो मेरो कोर्समा छ भनेर आफू भित्रबाट आउनु पऱ्यो नि त। मैले कसरी सक्छु बा तिमीलाई फकाएर एकदम मोहनी लगाउनु पऱ्यो। अब म धामी कहाँ जान्छु, झाँक्री कहाँ जान्छु, अब मोहनी मन्त्र सिक्न छु मन्त्र कि बाचा गरेँ नि, यो बिचरा नानी बिचरा मैले बोलेको सुनेको सुनै गर्छ, मोबाइलै हेर्दैन। त्यस्तो हुन्छ? हुँदैन, त्यस्तो कहाँ हुन्छ, त्यस्तो हुँदैन। यत्रो पाएको विद्यार्थी 21 वर्ष 20 वर्ष पुगेको विद्यार्थी भित्रबाट आउनु पऱ्यो नि त, मैले पढ्नुपर्छ यस्तो काम गरेर हुन भित्रबाट आउनु परेन, आउँदैन। सो आई वाज सेइङ there is already so much carbon in the atmosphere that even if we stop producing CO2 now, we will have problem. The company has emitted both directly and by electrical consumption. See, there is something called, if you know, there is a word called carbon footprint. It is called carbon footprint. अहिले मोबाइल चलाउनु भयो तपाईँले क्लासमा होइन, यो के भयो त यसले, वाट इज कार्बन फुटप्रिन्ट? यो मोबाइल चलाउनु भयो, ब्याट्री चार्ज भयो, अब घरलाई चार्ज गर्नु पर्ने हुन्छ नि त, चार्ज गर्दा तपाईँले ब्याट्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कन्ज्युम गर्नुहुन्छ, तपाईँले कन्ज्युम गरेको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रड्युस गर्नु पऱ्यो। अब त्यो प्रड्युस गर्ने क्रममा त कहीँ न कहीँ इन्भाइरोमेन्टमा हार्म भइरहेको हुन्छ कि, सो तपाईँले यहाँ मोबाइल चलाएर यो हार्मिङ द इन्भाइरोमेन्ट, द्याट्स द पोइन्ट। त्यसलाई कार्बन फुटप्रिन्ट भन्छ। त्यो भने के हो, तपाईँ जे काम गर्दा पनि के सोध्नु पऱ्यो, मैले यो गरेँ यो कामले इन्भाइरोमेन्टमा कति CO2 कन्ट्रिब्युट गर्छ सोध्नु पऱ्यो कि। आर्गुमेन्ट के हो कि तपाईँले हामीले जे गरिरहेछौँ यो ब्यागले किन्यो, यो ब्याग किन्यो, यो ब्याग त बनाउनु पऱ्यो, यो ब्याग बनाउनु कपडा चाहियो, कपडा निकाल्नलाई पल्प चाहियो, पल्प निकाल्नलाई रुख काट्नु पऱ्यो, त उसले एउटा ब्याग कन्ज्युम गरेर के भयो, एक्स्ट्रा उसले कन्ट्रिब्युट गरिरहेको छ कि, यसलाई भन्छ कार्बन फुटप्रिन्ट। तपाईँले फेसबुकबाट फोटो हाल्नुभयो, तपाईँलाई मैले के नै गरिरहेको छु सर, तर तपाईँको फेसबुक फोटो हालेको फेसबुकको फोटो त मेटाले त्यो स्टोरी दिनु पऱ्यो नि तपाईँले, तपाईँ जस्तो बिलियन मान्छे फोटो हालिरहेको छ नि त। किन चाहिँ अहिले मार्क जुकरबर्गले चाहिँ इनर्जी खोजिरहेको छ, बढी इनर्जी उसले पुगिरहेको छैन, किन एआईले चाहिँ यति बढी इनर्जी खोज्यो कि त्यो ग्रिडै क्राइसिस भइसक्यो, अहिले ग्रिड नै बन्द हुन्छ एआईमा बढी कन्जम्सन भएर। त्यो किन चाहिँ माइक्रोसफ्टले मेसिनहरू पानी मुनि लगाएर राख्छ, हिट हुन्छ भनेर हो। तपाईँ हरेक सेकेन्डमा इनर्जी कन्ज्युम गरिराख्नु भएको छ, जे काम गर्दा पनि, झोला बोक्दा पनि, किताबमा लेख्दा पनि त्यो इनर्जी आउँदाखेरि के भइरहेछ, इन्भाइरोमेन्ट हार्म भइरहेछ। थिङ्क दिस वे, सोच्नुहुन्न नसोच्नुहोस्, तपाईँकै पालामा डिजास्टर हुन्छ, तपाईँलाई नै बाँच्न गाह्रो हुन्छ। तपाईँको त 20 वर्ष हुनुहुन्छ, म त 56 वर्ष भएँ। तपाईँलाई बाँच्न मन छ भने बी भेरी सिरियस एन्ड हेल्प सेभ द इन्भाइरोमेन्ट, राइट? द्याट्स द पोइन्ट। So we are consuming electricity since it was founded in 1975. Microsoft's president Brad Smith said, if we don't control or reduce emissions and temperatures continue to climb, science tells us that the results will be catastrophic. What does catastrophe means? Catastrophe means total destruction. See, warning, understand? If temperatures are not controlled, the result will be catastrophic. सुन्नेवाला को छ, कोही सुन्नेवाला छैन, सबैले मोबाइलमा के हेर्नु परेको छ हैन, कसले सुन्छ? मलाई पनि क्यामेरामा भिडियो खिच्नु परेको छ, ल्यापटपमा पढाउनु परेको छ, मोबाइलमा रेकर्डिङ गर्नु परेको छ, मैले कन्ट्रिब्युट गरिरहेको छु, राइट? को सुन्छ? But as Tim Wu recently pointed out in the Times, you know Times is a very famous magazine, For every Microsoft, there is a Johnson and Johnson. See, the situation is horrible. It's not only about Microsoft that is harming environment. Look about Johnson & Johnson, which was recently fined more than $450 million for what? Fueling the opioid crisis. I don't know how they did that. Maybe I don't know how they did that. And Sony Ericsson, Sony Electronic Company, which made the hollow claim that expanding 5G networks will fight the climate crisis. And as Emily Atkin, who runs the climate newsletter, heated, you just go to Google and check it, reported Microsoft is still donating. See now see the connection between climate, environment and politics. See the connection here. See the dangerous connection. Read carefully. Microsoft is still donating to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, one of fossil fuels' biggest political allies. Look, Mitch McConnell supports fossil fuel, and Microsoft is paying money to him to support fossil fuel so that they get energy. See the connection between politics and climate. And funding artificial intelligence. I told you earlier. This is a 5 article. This is a 5 year agadi. As a pondus. AI company wale kati nahi chahiye asa. Ele dare garo bhai asa. Right. Technology research that directly aids fossil fuel development without a dramatic shift in government leadership and regulation on climate. Now the crisis will only grow. Now what is the conclusion? The conclusion is the final lever is in the hands of government and politicians. So ask a question, who can finally save climate? The final answer is the politicians. What is this? एउटा एसे छ कहिले पढ्नु होला मन लाग्यो भने हाउ सेन आर वी बाई अनुराधा चौधरी हो कि के चौधरी मैले बिर्सेँ चौधरी के अगाडि के मैले बिर्सेँ a wonderful essay where she shows how politicians are responsible for the degradation of environment. So finally they tell that everything depends on politics. That's why I told you earlier, this essay is about the democratic ideology and it criticizes the conservative ideology. After the McKinsey presentation, the crowd moved into a wood paneled room where waiters served smoked grapefruit and blow-torched salmon. Jeff Gitterman, a boutique wealth fund manager, said that he had heard Glendon speak before and admired his ideas. He thought things were changing in the right direction. Increasing numbers of clients call him to ask about their sustainable investment fund. What is sustainable investment fund? Money that you put for climate protection. But he said, although private finance was changing, public markets were still not accurately pricing climate risk. They think quarter to quarter, he said, in terms of the fossil fuel divestment movement. Mark this word, understand this word. Fossil fuel divestment movement means put money away from fossil fuel. Divestment. Investment, put money in. Divestment, put money away. Do not put money for fossil fuel. A movement which says, please do not contribute money to fossil fuel. The problem for now was still what we call the pale stale male. Who are pale stale male? Read here. Derogatory phrase used to describe group of people, typically white men, who are perceived as being out of touch, outdated and lacking diversity in perspective. People who have old thinking, and these pale stale males are definitely conservative politicians. So the writer calls conservatives as the pale stale males. He acknowledged that he too was a pale stale male. They just want to ride out the bull market, retire, play golf, go party and yacht. See what is happening. See the bit. I'll make you understand. See, what do these pale stale males want? They want to ride the bull market, means they want to earn a lot from share. What is riding? Ride out the bull market means the strategy of holding on to investment during a period of sustained economic growth and rising stock prices aiming to benefit from upward. This is what Tessun wanted to do. Tessun, in the story paper by Catherine Lim, wanted to ride the bull market, but he crashed. So these people want to hold their money and wait for increase and make profit. Why? Why? To retire with a lot of money, to play golf in Hawaii Island with a young girlfriend. Have you seen American rich people? They are 70 and they marry 20-year ladies. Oh, I'm shocked. Money is everything. Just Google. You will find that the richest billionaires, they are 67, 75, 80, and they are marrying 4th time, 5th time, 30-year-old ladies. Why? Money. Money does everything. See the bitter truth. So they want money. Greed. What is the problem? Human need is not problem. Human greed is the problem. Lovele love, lavele bilab. Greed is the problem. See the greed. Play golf. Go party on their yacht. That's the problem. Rich people's greed is the problem. According to a recent report from the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis, a think tank party. A think tank is a group or committee of intelligent people who share ideas about issues. Funded by the Rockefeller Family Fund and contrary to Trump's statements at Davos, this was the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad year for oil and gas. Which year? When that meeting was held, where Donald Trump said that energy crisis is false. In which the energy sector, which does not include renewable energy. So this argument is saying that we need to focus on, we should put money in renewable energy, not fossil fuel. Finished dead last in the S&P 500, the second year in a row it has held that distinction, and the fossil fuel industry continued to collapse in value. Now they are saying people are putting more money for renewable energy now. The good news is that people are putting more money for renewable energy, and they are putting money out from fossil fuel energy. Relative to the broader stock market, in light of such returns, more executives and investors will likely start to agree that climate science is the first good forecast. Climate science is the first good forecast, as Glendon has said, and that these prophets of doom are just doing their job. When Donald Trump said that climate activists are prophets of doom, now this author says, no, we are doing the right job. We are doing the right job. What is the right job? Bringing awareness. I don't think people understand vividly enough what is coming. Glendon said, we are trying to make it vivid. What is coming? What is coming? A catastrophe is coming. At least the consequences we can foresee. So we need to show people clearly what is coming up so that people become careful and protect their environment, protect their climate. ल सोध्नुहोस् मलाई क्वेसन केही छ सोध्नु पर्ने? We'll have a 5-minute break and then we'll move to poem, next poem. We'll have a break. Take a break.